To begin with, what is a financial dimension and how it works? So I have to ask few questions to you guys. Normally is to not to check your accounting knowledge, but to see how much your analytical understanding skills are like up to. Suppose that I mean go follow this example. I have a company. Okay, suppose my MRF only. My MRF company is in India. Okay, MRF Limited is located in India. Is a India-based legal entity. Okay, one legal entity only. So I have sales units. I have incorporated some sales units to sell my goods. So MRF, what MRF sells, MRF from normally sells rubber, uh, rubber products. So go for tires usually. Okay, so I have one business unit in Hyderabad and another one in Bangalore, another one in Chennai, another one in Mumbai. Okay, so, so I have my business units in these four areas. So every time I do transactions from here, I mean I do my sales. So manufacturing is done somewhere in India. Suppose that my manufacturing unit is in somewhere in Gujarat. Okay, manufacturing unit in Gujarat as well as business office is also in Gujarat. So business office is somewhere in else in Gujarat and manufacturing unit is somewhere else in Gujarat. Okay, it's on Gujarat. But my selling units are mainly in four areas: Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and Mumbai. Okay, only four. There might be a lot of them, but I am only going for four now, just for understanding sake. Okay, every time I'll record revenues here for Hyderabad, for Bangalore, for Chennai, and for Mumbai. So I have a single legal entity only. Every time I'll record those transactions in this single legal entity. At the end of some period, I want to understand how much I have earned through Hyderabad business unit or how much I have earned through Bangalore business unit or four business units separately. So how can I do this? Or how can I track my transactions on the basis of location or on the basis of this business unit that the sales unit, whatever we call? Any idea? I'm sure who doesn't have any idea about ERP will not have any idea about how we do this in normal business. So for this, we usually create some segments along with the main accounts. So we will do transaction for the main account, but we will also additionally tag some segments. So what that segments were called as financial dimensions in Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, I'll go with another example for you. So I have a department. So I have a four departments in my company. So I have finance department, I have HR department. Okay, I have operations, I have sales and marketing. Four departments. Okay. So the thing is, so within finance department, I have four employees. I have Naveen, I have Sai, and I have Seshu, and I have Susila. Four of them. Okay, four employees are working in finance department. Okay, now I paid travel expenses for one of the employee. So now I paid normal travel expenses for Naveen. Okay, so Naveen is traveled on business purpose, for the finance department person. So I have paid for his travel expenses. Or company reimbursed his travel expenses. Suppose. So the normal usual entry will be like travel expenses will be debited since expenses are always debited,
Cash
and
account.
so cash account or petty cash account will be credited since money will be paid from cash. Okay, this will be my transaction. So if I would write this transaction like this or record a transaction like this, how can I track that I have paid to Naveen only? Usually how we will you record this type of transaction in business? So you will write travel expenses debit, cash account credit, and you will write a description maybe being travel expenses paid to Mr. Naveen who is working in finance department like that. But that's a mere description describing the transaction. There can be hundreds and thousands of transactions like that. And I have done some 10 to 15 travel expense transactions for Mr. Naveen. So how can I track this 10 to 15 transactions? Or how can I track them on periodic basis? This month how much, next month how much we have paid to for travel expenses for one particular employee. So we can't create many accounts, right? Travel expenses, Naveen, account number 11001. Travel expenses, Seshu, account number, I mean 1002. Like that, we can't create as many accounts as we want. So it increases the number of accounts managed in chart of accounts. So for that purpose, we use financial dimensions, and we, along with travel expenses, whenever we do this transaction, along with travel expense account, we also tag finance department and Naveen. So we tag both of these. So this indicates like we have paid travel expenses for the person employee called Naveen who is in finance department. So we can track it like this. Or if at all we add these kind of tags or I mean additional segments for main account. So main account will be something like 5 lakhs. So expense account rate, suppose it is 5 lakh 5. Okay. And five, suppose go for this one 5 lakh 50 suppose it will be finance department along with this Naveen also will be tagged. So whenever I want the details of how much travel expense I paid to Naveen, what I can do is I'll select the travel expense account number and the code of Naveen, whatever the code that I have for Naveen. So I will select both of them and I'll extract a report and quickly I can see all the payments that I have done travel expenses to Naveen who is working in finance department. So for maintaining detailed information as well as for the preparation of reports and tracking the transactions, we use financial dimensions. So we can maintain financial dimensions as many as we can in business, but usually they'll go for 15 or something 20, until 20, but don't go beyond that normally. Some people will maintain 2 or 3 only according to their business need, not many. So it all depends on how the company want to track their expenses as well as revenues, as well as any other business details like payrolls. Payroll is also an expense, of course, but profits or revenues depending upon location, profits or revenues depending upon the items that you are selling. So for if at all it is depending on the item they want to track, again you want to create a financial dimension called as item, and each item will be created as a dimension value, and I'll show you how we create that, and that will be tagged for every transaction that we do, such that so the profits can be cornered or profits can be categorized on the basis of a product as well, on the basis of location as well. Or profits, not profits, so you can say revenues. So within that revenues, again, you'll get profits lately. So I'll write down the basic definition of financial dimensions here. Financial dimensions are the additional segments we use for recording detailed transactions and for purpose of tracking the posted transactions and data. So these are the additional segment that we use for recording detailed transactions. Else that we use as tags for main accounts for recording detailed transactions and for the purpose of tracking the posted transactions and data. So the main uses of financial dimensions I'll write down here one by one. So the same that we have defined in definition for recording the detailed transactions, simplification of accounting, of transactions and data on the basis of segments most important is preparation of reports. These are the four important uses of financial dimensions. So financial dimensions are the additional segment that we use as tags for main accounts for recording detailed transactions and for the purpose of tracking the posted transactions and data. So any confusion in this until here? So do you understand the examples or do you want me to repeat again? I mean, at least understood the concept of the example that I was trying to convey. Is of different concepts. For every activity, we can prepare a report if we want to. So report is usually financial report as I have in my perspective here. So
Yeah.
in case if I want to track the data of one particular business segment or this one, suppose if I want to track the revenue that is earned for Bangalore location, so I can prepare a report quickly, the revenues that are earned for Bangalore location. Okay. So reports depend on different concepts. So expense reports or revenue reports or any other transactions reports. So whatever we do or bring out a sheet out of the data that we have, the existing data in the system. So that's called as a report. So we will see that concept of reports again in every module. Again, we have reports supported by Microsoft. Okay. I want to tell you two things here. We have two concepts. Financial dimension is one and financial sorry dimension value is one. So within financial dimension we have financial dimension values. Okay, suppose I would say like location is my financial dimension. So location is my dimension and within location I have four places, right? I have four like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai and Mumbai. Okay, so I have four locations for my sales. Now, location is called as a financial dimension. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and Mumbai are called as financial dimension values. So all these four will fall under location. Okay. So we'll tag one of the location value always with the main account, not the location. Actually, location value one of the value in this, like Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai or Mumbai, with each main account or each transaction that we do, such that the transaction is tracked or linked to that particular location. So now I will write another one here. So I'll ask some question in this. Just drag it down. Small example how these are used in business. So actually this is a next step. We will discuss it after, I mean, usually discussed in deep after we do few transactions. I mean, we do few more configurations, but I just want to show you how it looks like when we use this financial dimensions in transactions. So I'm going to general ledger. General journal. We can't do it in our legal entity because we did not configure it. I mean, everything is not configured yet. It takes three more classes to configure everything to do transactions. See, I have selected USMF since in USMF everything is configured already. It's taking some time. So here I'll open one of the journal that is there. Uh, Suppose it here we normally give account as well as financial dimensions. So if I click here, uh, I can select a main account. So we have multiple main accounts, right? So I'll select this petty cash account, okay, suppose. And I can select this business unit and department. So this business unit and department are the financial dimensions here. So you see business unit and department. So under business unit, I have dimension values. You can see home, auto, electronics, sporting, chemical, fashion. They have a lot of them. Again, under department, I have financial dimension values. You see sales and marketing, operations, finance, IT, HR, legal, client services, retail, service operations. So all these are dimension values, and they gave unique code for each dimension value, like 022, 023, 024. So if at all I select this department here, you see the sales and marketing department. I see this code along with the main account. I see 022. Okay, if at all I would also select this business unit, suppose one of the business unit like auto business unit. Now I see it as main account plus auto business unit plus sales and marketing department. So whenever I post transaction also, all of them will be attached to that particular transaction. So at the end, I can track them using this. I can track this petty cash that is paid or received, but for this particular finance department or this particular business unit, anything. Okay, in the same way, if at all we use locations, we can see our locations also here. So we will configure that for our legal entity. We'll see. So in implementation, what all you have to understand is how client want to manage their accounts or how client want to track their accounts at the end of the, I mean, at the end of posting accounts or at any periodic intervals if they want to track any transaction separately. So you have to explain client how these financial dimensions work and then what are the financial dimensions they want to configure so that once they give an approval, we can configure those financial dimensions as well as the values in that financial dimensions. Okay, most of the clients will have a clarity of how what all financial dimensions they have to maintain. In case if they come up with the questions like we want to track this, we want to track that, and you can explain dynamic supports these kind of financial dimensions and you can track transactions in this way. So if you understand this concept of financial dimensions properly, you can resolve any issue or you can come up with a solution for client situation. So we will see how we can configure the financial dimensions first. So this is after configuring while entering the transaction. But before that, we have to configure or design the financial dimension and the values within it. So we'll see that part. So for that, I'm going into my legal entity. So dimensions is also a global page. Actually, you can go through any legal entity. But anyway, we'll open our legal entity MRF. So now I have this location as well as department. So I'll use both of them for my legal entity. So I'm to create financial dimensions, I have to navigate to general ledger, chart of accounts, dimensions, financial dimensions. It's a 4-step navigation. General ledger, chart of accounts, dimensions, and financial dimensions. Please note down the navigation. General ledger, chart of accounts, within that dimensions, and within that financial dimensions. Done. Then if I click here on financial dimensions, I'm sorry, here. See, there are a lot of financial dimensions that are already created and being used for other legal entities. But for my legal entity, I will create my own dimension. Sometimes you can use the financial dimensions for multiple legal entities as well. Suppose if at all I go for here, business unit is there, right? I can use the same business unit financial dimension for multiple legal entities. That's not a problem. So it all depends on the account structure that you use. That is our next topic in our class. So we will see how we can use it. Okay. But for now, for our legal entity, we'll create a financial dimension. We'll create those two financial dimensions and values within it. Okay. So here we can click on new to create a financial dimension. If I click on new, I have two options: custom dimension, or these are called system, I mean entity dimensions or entity backed dimensions. So we will talk about this entity back dimensions actually. I can go for custom dimension for now. So we are going to design our own dimension, right? So I'm going for custom dimension here. If I go for custom dimension, I can give a dimension name. So I can give the name as MRF underscore location. Okay. And there is no need to give for report column name and all. So I just save this. That's okay. We have to activate this dimension. We will do that once after we create some dimension values, then we will activate this. Okay, now the status is inactive as you see here. We have to activate it. So select these values from custom dimension and the dimension name as MRF location that I gave here. Then we have created a financial dimension. See, this is added to the list of financial dimensions we have. Now the next step is we have to create values in the financial dimension. So what are the values that we have for financial dimension? Financial dimension location. What are the values we have? Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and Mumbai. And let's see how we can configure those values. So for configuring financial dimension values, we have this option here, dimension values. So click on dimension values. And it's empty here. I can create a value or one by one. So I'll click on new here. I can give a value number if I want. Suppose I'll give it as 100. 100 Hyderabad. Okay. I'll save it. Then I'll give it as 101 Bangalore. It's not mandatory that you have to give numerics only. You can also give alphanumerics if you want, or you can give anything. You can give alphabets also. A, B, B, C, C, D, D like that, or A, B, C, D like that. Anything. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 also you can give. I'm just giving it 101, 100 because I mean later I may get more numbers, right? So I'm just going like this 100, 101, 102, 103. So three alphabet, three digits I'm going for. Okay. I can go for 102 Bangalore, Chennai, save, and the fourth one 103 Mumbai. Okay, it's 4. Refresh this. So all of them are in line now. 100 is for Hyderabad, 101 is for Bangalore, 102 is for Chennai, 103 is for Mumbai. Right? So this is how we can create financial dimension values within the financial dimension. I also have few options here. We will discuss this menu details within a financial dimension value. Okay. Is it clear until here how to create a financial dimension and values? Follow me. If at all it's not clear, I'll create one more. I mean the MRF departments as well, such that you will have to understand it once again. So I'll click on new again since I want to create another one. So I'll select the values. I'll select this custom dimension values. I will select from custom dimension and I'll give the dimension name as MRF underscore department. Okay. I'll save this. I'll go for dimension values. It's here to create the values within the financial dimension. So it's empty here. I'll create the values. I'll click on new. So for this, I'll give two series. Okay, 200 finance department. I'll go for 201 a department. 202. Sorry, 202 Wilson marketing. 204. Sorry, not 203, right? Sorry, 203 operations. So I created 4. Uh, taking time to save this time. So I can refresh this. Now I can see all of them here. 4 values I have created. You can create as many values you want. You just have to click on new and add the value. That's all. Some people will create all their employee names as financial dimension values. They'll create a dimension as employee and all their employee names as financial dimension values, and they give the dimension value as the employee code, such that for every transaction that they do for employee, like payroll transaction or any other expense transaction, they will tag that employee code as a financial dimension for every transaction that they do for that employee. Okay, if at all I have to create employee, I have to have 200 values. If at all I have 200 employees in my company. And some people will have vendors, all the vendors in the list. So if at all I have 500 vendors, all the vendors will be created as financial dimension values again. So for each transaction of that vendor, usually you can track transaction by vendor. Normally the vendor will be anyways there, but they will also keep this financial dimension as vendor. Some people will keep customers, some people will keep, how can I say, banks, some people will keep fixed assets as well, up to their wish. So you can also keep the master data here in the financial dimensions. I'll show you how to do that as well. So I have created this MRF department. The next step is to activate the financial dimension that I've created, since I have created dimension as well as values within it. So I'll activate it here. See this button, activate. Takes a while to get activated, and you can run it in the batch. I mean, it will run in the background, or you can run it in the front end itself. So I'll do both of them. For now, for this, I'm running it in the front end. So when I run it in the front end, I see this will run on the screen like this. It takes some time to activate it when it runs on the screen, and it will, you can't do anything else until it gets activated, right? So for that purpose, we have that batch job as well, which runs in the background, and you can do your things in the front end without any disturbance. I have activated this department. You can see it is active here. The same way I can activate the location as well. So I can click on activate MRF location. I can click batch here and click activate, such that it says that it is added to the batch queue. After a while it will get activated. So I think it's automatically get activated. You can see here. It is active already. So this is how we can create financial dimensions as well as values within the financial dimension. So I was saying you another one, we always used custom dimension only right here. So other than custom dimension, we can use already existing values also. Suppose that I am trying to create a cost center. So there is a cost center here called as ADS cost center. Within this, if I open this dimension values, I have 5 dimension values: CC1, CC2, CC3, 4, 5, and cost center 1, cost center 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if at all I want to create a financial dimension, I want the same values for that particular financial dimension as well. So it's a different cost center that I'm creating, MRF cost center, but I want the values in the same way. I can copy the values from here. So how can I do that? I can do it from this way. I go for new. I go for use values from. I should see it here if it is here, and now I don't see it here. Usually I can, if at all I see it here, I can copy, but I don't see. These are all the entity back dimension. So that is also a custom dimension. So I can't see it actually. So 1 second. Let me delete this one. So I'll go back to this one. Suppose I'll go back to business unit here. Where is the business unit? So here. So this business unit is not a custom dimension. It's a entity back dimension, already given dimension in Dynamics directly. So if at all I go for the dimension values, I can see there are a lot of dimension values, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And after 6, I have 69, 78, 81, and 82, and between I don't have. So this is how the construction is like. So this is a already given dimension value by 10, I mean, in this demo environment. I did not configure this one. If at all I want to use the values from this one, I can create a new one here, and I can select it as business units here. Use values from business units. and I can give the name here as MRF business unit, and I can save it. Now this is MRF business unit, right? If I go for dimension values, I can see all the dimension values from business unit are copied into MRF business unit automatically. It's because we have used this use values from business units. So we did not use custom dimension. If we use custom dimension, that values will disappear or we don't find any values. We have to customize or create values by our own. But I can also copy the values from already existing dimensions like this. So what happens is all these are the entity back dimensions. So suppose if I select customers here, you see these customers, and I'll just change this name as MRF customers. Okay, I'll save this. If I go for dimension values, I see lot of dimension values. So all the customers that are created in multiple legal entities will automatically add it up as dimension values here. If at all I go now into system and create a new customer, that customer will be automatically added as a dimension value here. The customer number will be added as a dimension value, and the customer name will be coming into the description automatically. The same way we have vendors. If at all we create any vendor in any legal entity, that vendor number as well as the vendor description will automatically appear here in the dimension values. Without manually being created, that will be automatically added here in the dimension value. That's why we call them as entity backed dimensions. So these are all called as master data. Actually, this costs and customers, customers, vendors, fixed asset groups, products and products, items and item groups. So all these are called as masters. So this master data, whenever we create, if at all we are maintaining the master data as a financial dimension, suppose whenever we create any item group or item so as a there, that will be added directly as a financial dimension value here. So that's one case. Mostly they will use these kind of things for vendors, customers, and item groups. Okay, they'll create it and select it as customers. So whenever they create any customer, that customer name will be added as a financial dimension value within the financial dimension. That's with entity backed dimensions. But here we will try to learn only custom dimensions. But in case if the entity backed dimensions are wanted, I mean the entity backed dimensions are needed, you can use that entity backed dimensions. So for now we use custom dimensions only.